Yeah, there's no platforms. Yeah, well, it's always on. Big fan.
It's important to keep your father happy. The truth is, I wasn't the best photographer in my class. There were photographers there I was ashamed to watch my prints with. They were so good. We were a generation of young purists who took photographs when we were moved to do so. They came from the heart and the life we were all living. There was a romance about it. We were using the camera to find out about ourselves. So the feeling was that if you made money with your pictures, you weren't being true to your art. Today, I don't think it's quite that simple, but the point I want to make is don't worry about the money now. At this stage in your career, you're probably not going to make much anyway, so you might as well use the time to be creative. For me, it was never a question of money. I was seduced by the photographs. When I saw my first photograph in print, I was embarrassed by how excited I was. When you see your photograph go into another form, it becomes powerful. Yet, working for money did raise some scary questions. Would I lose control? Would I be forced to express someone else's point of view? But I found at Rolling Stone I could do exactly what I wanted, the way I wanted to do it, mainly because no one else knew what I should do. I was lucky. Working for an upstart magazine like Rolling Stone forced me to find my point of view. When I first shot John Lennon, I had to convince John Winter, the editor, to fly me to New York. I flew youth fare, $75 round trip. I stayed with friends, and I think I turned in a $25 expense report. I was still a student then, and Lennon was to teach me one of my most valuable lessons. He was so honest and straightforward, he made me feel comfortable right away. He made me see we were all equal. The picture we ended up using for the cover was not posed. It was a moment when Lennon just looked up. Years later, I realized this was my first portrait. I was there at the White House when Nixon resigned. I couldn't compete with the White House press corps. I was forced to shoot from the sidelines in the back of the room. My moments were before and after the others had taken their shots. After the president had flown away and the press had left the scene, I noticed the guards rolling up the red carpet. Rolling Stone ran that picture across 2 pages. The space probably would have been used by Hunter Thompson if he had filed the story. But it was an important shooting for me because I realized that sometimes the seemingly unimportant moments are the most real. As time went on, the relationship of art and money seemed to they were literally the last pictures taken of John. When I went to show them to Yoko for her approval, she suggested why didn't I sell the pictures to whomever I could. I was shocked and told her I hadn't been thinking like that at all. She said, sell them, take the money, and buy yourself a new loft. My photo agent, Robert Pledge, also wanted me to sell the picture. Life magazine wanted it for a cover, but I refused. At the time, I really felt that I couldn't exploit John's death. I told John Longard at Life that if my photographs are ever to make the cover of Life magazine, it should be for the merits of the photograph and not someone's death. He said that will never happen. In retrospect, I now feel this was not a question of money, but of journalism. The picture was news. Robert Pledge told me that people deserved to see it, that it was a great last picture, a great image for people to remember Lennon by. Today, I would have sold it. If you believe in what you're doing and hold true to your point of view and follow your heart, people will eventually pay you for it. I've done some of my best recent work for advertising. Not at first, though. I remember the portrait campaign for U.S. News and World Report. They came to me and said, Annie, We want you to do what you do the way you want to do it. They wanted simple portraits of well-known people. But on the day of the shoot, they said, why don't you have them hold the magazine? It turned into a portrait of the magazine. And then there was the Roses Lounges. They said, Annie, do it your way. These portraits were pairs of famous people, but at the last minute, oh, by the way, we have to put this bottle in the picture. So by the time American Express came to me, I said, you gotta be kidding. They said, no, we want you to take your picture. This time I laid down some rules. I did not let the client come to the shoot, and this was basically unheard of in advertising. Yesterday, I shot my 23rd American Express portrait, Stephen Sondheim, at his home in Connecticut. And there never has been any strokes of that. I'm free to do whatever my imagination dictates. It's amazing how an American Express budget can make your imagination grow. I've been sharing a few stories from my 20 years as a working photographer. The attitudes of my generation were probably different from yours. January 1970, which is when I graduated, was still, for all practical purposes,